There is a powerful truth that most people learn too late in life. Not every battle deserves your energy. Some people spend years emotionally exhausted because they are constantly reacting to conflict, reacting to disrespect, reacting to jealousy, reacting to criticism, reacting to people who secretly enjoy provoking them. And without realizing it, they slowly become controlled by the very people they dislike. Because when someone can control your emotions, they can control your peace. One of the greatest forms of power is learning how to remain calm while others try to pull you into chaos. Most enemies do not defeat people through strength. They defeat people through distraction. They provoke emotional reactions. They drain focus. They create anger. They create insecurity. They create obsession. And many people destroy themselves trying to win battles that were never worth fighting. True power is not always loud. Sometimes true power is silence, discipline, self-control, emotional intelligence. The strongest people are often the ones who no longer feel the need to prove themselves to everyone. There is a reason emotionally mature people protect their energy carefully. They understand something important. Arguing with every negative person will not improve your life. Explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you will not bring peace. Seeking revenge rarely heals pain. In fact, many people become exactly like their enemies because they become consumed by anger. Hatred changes people slowly. It steals clarity. It steals peace. It steals emotional freedom. And eventually, the enemy no longer needs to destroy you because your own bitterness is already doing the work. One of the most effective ways to destroy your enemies without fighting them is success. Not fake success designed to impress strangers. Real success, inner peace, emotional discipline, growth, healing, purpose. Nothing frustrates negative people more than seeing someone become unshaken by negativity. Some people expect your collapse. They expect your reaction. They expect your anger. And when they fail to control your emotions, they lose power over you. Many people secretly feed on emotional reactions. They enjoy seeing others upset because it makes them feel significant. But calmness removes their satisfaction. Silence removes their control. Another powerful strategy is refusing to become emotionally available for drama. Not every insult deserves attention. Not every opinion deserves explanation. Not every attack deserves defense. Wise people choose carefully where they invest emotional energy. Some battles cost more than they are worth. There are people who spend years trying to prove themselves to individuals who already decided to dislike them. And during that process, they waste time that could have been invested into growth. You do not need universal approval to live a meaningful life. Some people will misunderstand you no matter how kind you are. Some people will criticize you no matter how hard you work. Some people will dislike you simply because your existence reminds them of their own insecurities. And none of that should control your peace. Another way to defeat enemies without fighting is through emotional independence. Emotionally dependent people become easy to manipulate. If your happiness depends entirely on how others treat you, then difficult people will always have power over your emotional state. But emotionally grounded people move differently. They understand their worth internally. They do not collapse every time someone disapproves of them. And that emotional stability becomes strength. One of the most dangerous things you can do to an enemy is refuse to hate them. Because hatred creates attachment. The more you hate someone, the more mental space they occupy inside your life. You think about them constantly. You replay situations repeatedly. You become emotionally connected to negativity. And suddenly, the enemy is living inside your mind rent-free. Peace requires release. Sometimes the most powerful revenge is simply moving on completely. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that winning means humiliating others. Real power does not need constant revenge. Immature people seek emotional victory. Mature people seek inner freedom. There is a major difference between the two. Many people stay emotionally trapped because they are obsessed with proving themselves, proving intelligence, proving value, proving success, proving superiority. But secure people eventually realize something important. You do not need to attend every argument you are invited to. Not every criticism deserves a response. Some people are committed to misunderstanding others because conflict gives meaning to their lives, and trying to convince those people will only drain your energy. The strongest individuals protect their focus carefully because focus creates progress, and distraction destroys progress. Enemies often succeed because they pull people away from their purpose. A distracted mind becomes weak. An emotionally reactive mind becomes unstable. But disciplined people continue moving forward despite negativity around them. Another way to destroy enemies without fighting is by mastering self-control. Most people are controlled by impulses. Anger controls them. Pride controls them. Ego controls them. Fear controls them. But self-control creates emotional power. There is something deeply intimidating about a person who remains calm under pressure, because calmness communicates confidence, and confidence without arrogance becomes extremely powerful. Another important lesson is learning to stop explaining yourself constantly. People who genuinely care about you usually do not require endless explanations, and people committed to misunderstanding you will ignore explanations anyway. Some individuals spend years emotionally exhausted because they constantly defend themselves against every opinion. But peace begins when you stop needing validation from everyone around you. Not everyone will understand your path. Not everyone will appreciate your growth. Not everyone will support your decisions, and that is completely normal. Another powerful strategy is becoming successful quietly. Some people announce every goal before accomplishing anything, but quiet growth is dangerous. When you focus silently, improve silently, and build your life consistently, people eventually notice results without needing constant announcements. Nothing silences negativity more effectively than visible progress. Another important truth is that enemies often reveal themselves through envy. Envy creates strange behavior. Some people smile publicly, while secretly hoping for your failure. Some people celebrate your struggles more than your achievements, and emotionally intelligent people learn not to take this personally, because envy is rarely about you. It is usually about unresolved insecurity inside another person. Understanding this helps you stop reacting emotionally. Not every attack deserves emotional investment. Another way to defeat enemies without conflict is through discipline. Discipline changes everything. Your health, your focus, your confidence, your finances, your emotional state. Undisciplined people often destroy themselves eventually, but disciplined people continue building stable lives over time. Consistency becomes quiet power. Another powerful habit is refusing to gossip. Gossip temporarily feels satisfying, but it creates long-term weakness. People who constantly speak negatively about others slowly poison their own mindset. But emotionally mature people protect their energy differently. They focus on growth instead of constant comparison. And growth naturally creates distance between you and negativity. Sometimes the greatest victory is becoming unreachable to chaos. One of the strongest forms of revenge is healing completely. Many people expect pain to destroy you. They expect heartbreak to harden you. They expect betrayal to make you bitter. They expect failure to break your confidence. But healing changes everything.